the manufacturing after.
I would like to call today's meeting of the Las Vegas Art Commission to order, and the first order of business is have we a quorum?
I can do roll.
Yes, please.
Okay. Chair Grogan,
Here.
Vice Chair Nowak,
On the phone.
Member Diener, excused. Member Shevsik,
Here.
Member Schneider, excused. Member Alvarez,
Present.
Member Michaels, Member Abelman,
Here.
Member Trimble, excused. Member Tupaz,
Here.
Member Weinstein,
Yes.
Member Karpel.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you. Was notice of the agenda posted in accordance with law, and are we in compliance with the open meeting law?
Yes, we have.
Thank you very much. I would like to first of all welcome everybody here. This is a great turnout. I appreciate it. Hope we have some good citizen participation. If you have anything interesting that you would like to talk about, we would probably defer it to the end of the meeting, but we have to keep those comments on to those items that are on the agenda, which I will read as the following. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. If you wish to be heard, give your name for the record. The amount of discussion as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. We will make time available at the end of this meeting to have anybody who wants to have a discussion on this. Moving on, I'd like to welcome that we have two new members of the Art Commission, and I'd like them to introduce themselves and perhaps say a little bit about their background. Yes, please.
My name is Polly Weinstein. I was born and raised here in Las Vegas, and I went to Sarah Lawrence College with a concentration in sculpture. I'm a jeweler here in the Valley, a second-generation jeweler here in Las Vegas.
Very good.
I'm Sandy Parkell, 1.5 year resident in Las Vegas, formerly in New York City, Long Island. I'm currently the president of the Art Club in Sun City, and I'm here.
Good. I'd like to welcome you all to the commission, and if I can give any little comment on about it, we like to see all our members active in the subcommittees that we have. If you have anything happening in the community or things that you're involved in, we like to bring them out at the meetings and encourage both the public and members of the commission to attend or be active themselves with projects you might be interested in. Towards that end, we're going to have a couple subcommittee reports. There are 3 subcommittees that we have that we're active with right now. One is the Main Street, dealing with art projects along Main Street, tying in with the acts that the Public Works is also doing in construction, and we have an active committee there. We also have an education subcommittee, which we are doing work with the schools and trying to find several schools where we can create art programs within those schools. We have Nancy Diener as chairman of that. We also have the marketing and PR committee. One of our goals in the last several years has been able to try and draw attention to the Art Commission and let the Art Commission and the public know that we are partners together in all sorts of activities, and we want to encourage both artists as well as we want to try and create more public art in the city. That's one of our basic goals. We are part of the cultural facilities of the city, and in fact we deal with culture in the city, so we're not just necessarily tied to the Art Commission. As such, I want to do a little cleanup items. I noticed in our marketing and PR was informed by the city clerk's office, although we've had Commissioner Alvarez run the PR and committee for several meetings, is that we probably have not officially voted him in as the chairman itself. And so for cleanup of the records, I'd like to nominate Chairman Alvarez as chairman of the PR and marketing committee. It doesn't require a second. So all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're now setting that into cement. We also have, if you have to speak up.
Mr.
Yes.
Chairman, this is really agendized as number 9 on the
Okay.
agenda. So can we hold off till then?
Okay. Everything you voted on, we'll hold off until number 9, so keep that vote in abeyance. What I'd like to do then is go into the possible action to approve the final minutes by reference of the Main Street Ad Hoc Subcommittee, July 29th, 2014. And in these books you have, for the new members, they have each of them set aside so you can go in here and find the issue we're looking at and then read the minutes or whatever we're looking at that time. As all the commissioners look at the minutes, does anybody have any changes of those minutes? Member Alvarez, anything that caught your attention? Then I would like to seek a motion to approve the minutes from this subcommittee. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, so passed.
I'll make it.
She did. I heard her. Also, okay, moving on to number 5 is basically the time we have a chairman's report. And during the chairman's report, what I like to do is make some comments both on the commission and for the betterment of the good of the cultural part of the city. If any of you have activities happening around the city or know things that you'd like to bring to the attention of the commission and put into the record, I would please welcome those comments now. I would like to point out that in the visual arts area, the workshop information, the city will hold a free workshop for artists interested in entering the field of public art on January 17th, Saturday, from 10 a.m. to noon at 5th Street School. We have Oktoberfest, October 4th at the historic 5th Street School, with German music, dance, food, and beer, and children's activities. On October 17th, at noon to 1 p.m., the acclaimed Nevada poet, Waddy Mitchell, will be performing works, Sweat Equity. That's at the Lloyd George U.S. Courthouse. The admission is free to that event. And finally, we have the Vegas Valley Book Festival, which I encourage you all to attend, October 16th and 18th. It's at various locations, but most of it's at 5th Street School. Clark County Library has an evening with Dr. DJ Novak, October 16th, 7 p.m. Sylvia Day in conversation with Tracy Wolf will be October 18th at historic 5th Street School. And then there's also some other events. You might check the websites at the book festival, see what else is going, and please, I would encourage you to attend. Do any other members have any comments? Member Alvarez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pretty excited. I will be curating First Friday. It's coming in October. I know there's some people here that are going to speak to that during the public comment section. Also, I attended the Nevada Arts Advocates Luncheon yesterday. I was the youngest person in the audience. I'm 40 and I'm no spring chicken, but I would highly encourage both the audience and us to get involved with that group. Because they go up to the legislature every year and lobby on behalf of the arts. I'm not sure how we can do any of that, but nonetheless, a great group, very passionate individuals. There's a lot of people there that have been involved in the arts for a generation, so please get involved with them.
Could you repeat the name of the organization?
The Nevada Arts Advocates. And then also just attended the modern, not subcommittee, but advisory board meeting. I'm a member of that, and some pretty cool actions are going on over there. So another
organization to support in some capacity. They are building a Las Vegas's major art museum, so pretty excited about that. That should be built, if all goes well, in the next couple of years down on New York.
Very good. I also like to make a side point too, if you're ever interested in knowing what really happens around downtown Las Vegas, you should befriend Mr. Alvarez on Facebook. He's leading a more exciting life than I am. So worth following. Any other commissioners having events or activities? Yes.
Thanks, Chairman. The CAC will be screening the PBS Art 21 series the third Tuesday of October and November at Scullery downtown.
Okay, very good, very good.
18D had their board meeting this week, and it's really exciting, all the energy, and I think there's a lot of faces that were in the audience today that were present that really are trying to move the community forward, and the need for marketing and the need for those dollars to help support the businesses that are there. And I think it's really an important thing. So I really encourage anybody to help on any of those committees to move that forward. So, and that will be happening monthly.
Anybody else? Yes.
Well, there's always something at the university. So I know there's something else going on the same night, but on October 3rd, there are 4 exhibitions opening out at the university. There's one under Donna Beam called Layered and Burnished. 6 artists, one from Australia, one from Ireland, and the 4 from the U.S., and 3 exhibitions at the Barrick, Panorama Plus, which are all NAC Fellowship artists that are exhibiting people like Mary Warner and Catherine Borg and Stephen Hendy and Phil Argent and Michael Sarich and Peter Goen. And then the 4th exhibition is called Yesterday and Today, which is work from historic and contemporary Paiute Indian tribe members. This is all in honor of the sesquicentennial celebration of Nevada. So that all opens on Friday the 3rd. Sorry.
Very good. Very good. So everybody now knows the Facebook Jerry's. Yes.
The festival that's happening in October at this week's school, if anybody would like one of these, and we have these too.
Very good. Please give it a Any other comments from the commissioners? Okay, I'd like to move on to the next item, which is actually a report from the Office of Cultural Affairs. Diane, would you bring something?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a few projects. You had all requested an updated public art brochure, so I just want to let you know that that is now being designed in the city's in-house graphics design department, so we're working on that. I'm going to pass along a press release that was issued from the Parking Services Division. Tomorrow is the parking day, park parentheses ING day. And this is a movement that basically started in San Francisco, and it's taking a parking space and designating it as a public space. And there are a lot of them that have public art components. So I'm going to pass this around. If you're downtown, it tells you a little bit about the location. And hopefully next year we can participate in that. Just wanted you to know that the architectural photography project is underway. And the artists who just happened to be here, Jennifer and Ryan, you want to raise your hands? They were selected by a panel, and they're under contract, and they're now starting to work on this project. The Charleston Heights Art Center project, the artist selection panel will meet on October 2nd and choose the artist for that project. The last meeting in June, you all approved broken windows templates. Those have been fabricated and have been given to code enforcement. And my understanding is they're going to be used anytime. So, and on January 17th, we're going to have an artist workshop for local artists who are interested in going into the public art field. It'll be 2 hours from 10 a.m. to noon at the Historic Fifth Street School. It is free to the public. And we'll send out more information as we get closer to the date. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody have any questions of that report? Okay, I would like to move on to the next item, which is discussion for possible action regarding an update from the Education Subcommittee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Co-chair of the Education Committee, Ken Schneider, who is able to be here today. I do have a report, and things are moving along. As you may recall, at the last meeting, we discussed how we had targeted certain schools to put our education component in, and it was all predicated on whether the principals and the teachers wanted to do it. Fast forward to Valley High School. We are at Valley High School. And we just firmed up this past month for Business Finances Health with their teacher. We have a meeting, actually Candy and I was having a meeting with them on Tuesday. Anybody, Jerry, anybody else on the committee that wants to join us, please feel free to join. With Brent Summerhauser, we'll take the first go around as the teacher. We got a NAC grant. And
we're looking forward to working with the teacher and the principal. We don't know now whether it will be one class a week for the whole school year. It will be concentrated in certain weeks, and we're going to work out the lesson plan and how we proceed. So I've asked Lisa to come in October and give you a more in-depth report on that, on how that's going to proceed. But we're really excited about it, and Valley High School is very excited as well. So we think it'll be a really, really strong program.
What time and where's the meeting?
The meeting's at 11:30, and I'll email you the name of it's the teacher's office. I'll email it to
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
great,
you.
Sure. So that's my report.
So it's 11:30 on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, I'll email you. I'll email the committee the date and time. We set this up through the school district's partnership office, so that's the route we had to go. We had a couple of meetings with them to try and figure out what schools were able to do it, and what schools actually wanted to do it. It's really up to each school as to whether or not they want to participate in these things. Some of them are eager, and some, for whatever reasons, have different focuses. So I'll email you both the time and the location.
Okay, any comments or questions to the Education Subcommittee Co-Chair? Okay, moving on to the next item then, which is number 9, possible action for regarding the appointment of a new member to the PR and Marketing Subcommittee. What I'd like to do is take that abeyance we had at the very beginning of the meeting since I was so...
Excuse me.
Did we skip 8? Oh, 8, I'm sorry, I apologize. Main Street Ad Hoc Committee. Mark, your report, please.
Great. Well, I think that our meeting was really productive when we met. And I'm really appreciative that Public Works, and very thankful that Public Works has really stepped up. They are allocating $100,000 for the benches and bike racks, and then $100,000 for the Main Street Commerce art piece. And we're excited about that. We're hoping that maybe the Art Commission could look at, can we possibly find more money? And we talked about a way to, how do I put this gently, fundraise to improve the community. Because I don't think we can directly ask for money for art, but perhaps if we can improve the community. So we thought of those two things to maybe enhance the pot for our main focal point art piece. So that was another great conversation that we had. We talked about the continuity, and I don't mean like the sameness, but continuity from Stewart Street to Las Vegas Boulevard as far as the benches. Let's see what we talked about, the RFQ being sent out, which I believe was sent out. I'm not sure where we're at with that.
The art bench RFQ?
Yeah.
Not quite yet, no.
Okay. So we're in the process of doing that as well. We did have a goal for the end of the year. And again, we'll find out more about that later. What else did we talk about? One of the things that was really important that Commissioner Alvarez brought up was that there's no palm trees, which I think we all agreed that then there won't be, because they won't provide shade for walking. So that was confirmed by Public Works, that palm trees will not be part of it. What we call the strip of land, if you will. We also, Commissioner Chair Grogan recommended that Public Works identify other places that we can have artwork perhaps commissioned, and we're not sure how that looks, but so that we have more artwork up and down the street. And I think that was a really important idea, to make sure that we allocate those spaces for any additional art that could go in, for however it could be financed. Maybe it's a business like ours, or maybe it's, I think that the Deputy City Attorney also recommended that you could maybe, what was it that you did? You
Public solicitation.
Public solicitation, and
What's that?
it's in in memory. So there are some really great ideas that came out of that to actually enhance the street and not just being limited to the benches. So I thought those were all great ideas. And I think that concludes it. Did I miss anything?
Can I have two little things that I wasn't at the meeting, I'm not on the committee, but I'm just hearing you talk and say, public solicitation is correct, and we've sent up some wording. It's my understanding that you can ask for money for artwork. It doesn't have to be just in general, but it just can't target any entities or individuals. You couldn't ask a business, you couldn't ask anybody particular. But that wording is up in the city attorney's office. They just received it a couple of days ago, so I'm sure we'll be hearing back from them. As to whether or not we can, if you say, hey, we would really like money to put more public art on the street to everybody, and it's a blanket statement, you're not targeting any individual. So we'll see where that develops. But I'd also like to say about putting more artwork on Main Street. It's really important that you guys work with Public Works on that, because whatever infrastructure has to go in, whether it's lighting or weight load or it could be safety, it's all public right of way.
Well, and that's exactly, I'm glad you clarified those 2 points, because that's exactly why I think his question was to Public Works. Please identify those places, so we proactively know spots that can be used and those that can't, and conversely with the wording, we're tiptoeing around that for a while, so I appreciate those comments.
Actually, to the wording, and I'm glad that we have had comments that there's something up there at the city attorney's office. I've submitted just recently kind of a circulating rough press release that we're kind of working on that would probably go out along these guidelines of seeking, public solicitations. But I think the goal of the press release is to aim towards your project and your subcommittee's goals. Even though it might be a general statement, we might still say in it that people can work on contributions to the councilman's district, for example. We still would probably aim at specific things like the Commerce Street median area and other locations within the Market Street, see what we generate by the press release.
And I think those are important clarifications so that we can really know, because we've talked about that going forward. How do we ask without asking, so to speak? So, thank you.
We will try and get something out publicly before the next commission. That would be my goal. Any other input on that? Any other questions of the subcommittee chairman? Now for my excitement, moving on to PR and marketing, finally. Member Alvarez, I would like to, again, we have technical things, and we have to do this all right by not only Robert Rules of Order, but by public law things. So I would like to nominate Member Alvarez as chairman of the PR and marketing committee. Do I hear ayes of approval from the
Aye.
Any negatives? Thank you very much. What this encouraged, we had a choice here today just to do the thing properly. So what I would like to, again, both to the new members and to those members who think they have time, take a hard look at the subcommittees, because they are moving. Both you've heard the reports today, and we want to try and encourage membership activities. So let me or let Diane know after the meeting of your interest of any subcommittee, and we'll talk with that chairman and then make sure that you are nominated and selected at the next meeting. That does not preclude you from showing up if any of the subcommittees meet between now and then. You just wouldn't be able to vote per se, but you could still participate and talk as a member of the commission. Okay, any other questions on that regard? Okay, I would like to now move on to number 10. The discussion for possible action regarding approval of adding ceramic sculpture category to the Celebrating Life exhibition and acceptance of a monetary donation of $500 for this award from the Nevada Clay Guild. There's no physical impact and affects all awards. Diane, did you want to speak to this?
Just very briefly, the Nevada Clay Guild came to the commission, came to the Office of Cultural Affairs, and said they would like to sponsor a new category. Celebrating Life is an exhibition program with award winners in various categories, and it is sponsored by the Las Vegas Arts Commission. So they have come forward wanting to donate $500 to first, second, third place award just in the ceramic sculpture category.
Anybody from the commissioners want any more information on that? I think that's a very noble and good gesture, and I think that will have some good impact to draw attention to both the award systems and to the place culture and community.
Can I just make one clarification? Does this include ceramic dishes, mugs? Does this include practicalware or just, or anything ceramic? I mean, is it
Yes.
usable or it's
Right,
sculptural?
functional or
Thank you.
sculptural, yes,
Okay, well, thanks.
right.
This is, yes.
What other 3D categories are there?
There are, which Jeannie were here, let's see, there's regular sculpture, and I think that's, then the mixed media. And there's a mixed
Okay.
media category, which could be 3D.
Anybody else have a question?
Is this price consistent with the other prices out there?
Yes,
So that's what-
yeah.
Does this require action of the commission?
I believe that they would like to get approval, because it is an Arts Commission program.
I'll make a motion for approval.
Okay, it has been moved, no second is required for supporting this action to allow this to be added into the category Celebrating Life. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it carries. Again, I want to thank the Nevada Clay Guild for being involved in this and helping, and we look forward to working with them on other projects. Okay, now moving on to something very important to both the Art Commission and the city is discussion for possible action, number 11, regarding the City of Las Vegas Arts Commission artwork deaccession policy and procedure which establishes guidelines for the rotation and disposition of city-owned artwork. No physical impact impacts all awards. We probably have comments from member Nancy Jeter as well as city attorney wants to speak to this.
I would just say that we worked closely with the city attorney on the accession policy. We've been working on it for a long time, back and forth. It's been vetted by the attorney's office, by every department in the city, because the policy will affect every department. And some people did have some, we only got heard comments back from one person, which was mostly just in terms of capital and non-capital letters. Other than that, I mean, we've vetted it, we feel it's good to go, we'd like to see it approved, but I think that Diane is going to everybody in case we get a chance to look at it and take on it. We think we're at the end zone now, we'd like to approve it if possible.
Yeah, we did send this out several times, and we've had commission members active during the process taking a look at this. So I think we're at the end product. The city needs a system of taking artwork that doesn't fit or doesn't work with the system, or otherwise something that has probably gotten old and has to be removed from the public view, whatever. There's a whole different way, but still protecting the artists and still protecting the type of work we're seeking out there in the community. This is not a social comment. This is more a system of making this work. Do I hear a motion for accepting? I want to make sure we get the language right. I'd like to have a motion that we pass the deaccession policy procedure for the City of Las Vegas Art Commission, which establishes guidelines for the rotation and disposition of city-owned artwork.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. This motion has been made. Any further comment on this? This is very important. It's very a good positive step.
I'd like to thank Bob and the city attorney's office.
Yes, appreciate it. They've looked at this long and hard. The only comment I would be asking Diane is we probably need to reduce all this to bullet points and get it to the right heads of departments so everyone understands it's out there and it's available for use or something. We don't, and even city council members.
I don't know what the city council, but we can get the city council, but the department heads have it, and it's viewed online, all of these policies are located online, so everybody knows it's out there, so.
Okay, very good. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for a motion for approval of the deaccession of policy for the Las Vegas Art Commission. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, this motion passes. Thank you very much for this participation. Number 12, discussion for possible action regarding approval additional lighting for the artwork. Notice I didn't pronounce that. At the Development Services Center, percent of the art budget is $2,100. This is in Ward 5. Discussion on this, Diane?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Currently, there are 8 lights that were purchased by Public Works that are focused on the new artwork. This is a large sculptural piece by Sid Bound. And even with tweaking the lights as best we could, it still needs more lighting. And there are no more funds from the Public Works Department. So we're coming to you today to approve 2 to 3 other lights and tracks so that the artwork is fully illuminated.
We've had this discussion before. Most of us were here at the dedication of this artwork. It's an outstanding piece. It modernizes the building from the inside, and the additional lighting will help set it off. Does anybody
How
have
does
any-
this impact our budget? What impact will it have?
We have money in the budget to do that.
Any further discussion? If not, I will accept the motion. Looking at you, wasn't I? Discussion, okay. We now have a motion on the floor for accepting the additional lighting cost of $2,100. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Moving over to number 13. I just have to let the audience know that this doesn't go as fast as you think it does sometimes. Very lucky we're actually voting on stuff today. Discussion for possible action, number 13, regarding approval of the design concept set for the historic West Side School gates. No physical impact in Ward 5. Any discussion on this, Diane? We had this discussion too last meeting, too, if I remember.
We didn't have a concept to review, and so we're bringing the concept to you all this evening. Zach Ostrowski was selected, I believe, back in November or December to do a pair of gates to the historic West Side School as it's being renovated. That project was put on hold for several months until funding was found to do the actual renovation. Funding was found, and so Zach has submitted this design. You can see where he has areas where there'll be engraved text, and so we're looking to the community for inspirational quotes, possibly names of alums of the West Side School, which again we're doing an outreach into the community for. So we're bringing this design. This is an actual photograph from one of the books about the history of the West Side School. So all the images you see here pertain just to the school. It's going to be in kind of a gunmetal gray. It'll be composed entirely of steel, and this is a perforated mesh. We've discussed with the artist the possibility of tagging and how that would impact the gate, and this design goes through several layers. So we're not concerned if there is tagging. It will come off, and it will not have any impact on the imagery that you see here. So there may be some slight variations to this design, but we're bringing this to you for your approval. Yes.
How is the imagery on the mesh? Is it's etched or it's a multi-layer like in between?
I think it's either engraved or photo processed. I'm not sure, but I can find out from the artist.
What is the back side of
It'll be the same on both sides.
Oh.
So these gates are going to be open during the day, so people will see them from both sides, and they're going to be closed and locked at night. And the original budget, what you approved for his design, was $20,000. The project only allotted $15,000 for the actual fabrication of the gates. So the artist is working with a construction team for the total budget of $35,000 to design and fabricate the gates both.
To go off what Commissioner Truesdale said, I'd like to know also what the backside looks like, because would you be able to see the engraving through it?
It'll be engraved on both sides.
But when you open the gate, it would be like.
It won't be. Go ahead, Jerry.
Thank you. What I think is it's not engraved, but it's perforated. So you can see through. There's light that will penetrate and come through. So if you're looking at the back side, it's like the reverse or the negative of what you see on the front side. So it's like bigger and smaller pixels. The image is put into a computer, and then that information is fed into a device that will cut laser, whatever, holes into a piece of metal, and then that will ultimately end up in an image that you would be able to look at and recognize. So it's perforated and goes all the way through.
Thank you.
Who's going to approve the text?
Councilman Barlow is involved with this, and so we're looking to the community for the names and the quotes and so forth.
And this group preservation commission is also involved.
Okay, does this require an action?
Yes.
Okay. Therefore, I'm seeking a motion for approval of the design concept, which you have in your booklets. Any further discussion on this?
And have we, I know HPC was looking at some design elements to rearrange it, so have they, or is it still maybe tweaked a little bit?
The artist is looking at possible alteration of the 2 columns on this end and the 2 columns on that end.
Per HPC's
Per H, right.
recommendation. So if you would approve this tentatively, you know there would be some tweaks as per Historic Preservation Commission.
Okay, any further discussion? Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Jerry, thank you, sir. There's been a motion made for approval of the design concept for the historic West Side School gates. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to number 14, discussion for possible action regarding the aerial gallery. No physical impact, 43.
Based on the agenda, I was very curious. I know that we've saved a lot of those banners from the aerial galleries past, and some of them survived pretty well, and others not so much. But I would love to see some of those activated around the LGBT Center between Charleston and Fremont Street. The LGBT Center is having a huge impact in that neighborhood, and I'd like to see some activation of art around there. And I don't know, I know we have no money, but I'm throwing it out there as potential activation in the future. That area is becoming a gateway to Fremont Street, and the center has become quite a beacon of light in that depressed neighborhood, and it desperately needs some art. And I'd like to see what we can do to possibly maybe reactivate the aerial gallery with some of the old banners, or do something that.
Some of those old banners have the names of things that are no longer there. If I remember
Well,
right.
those are the cultural
Yeah.
banners, but the aerial gallery, we have many of those banners, and some of them aren't in good shape because they didn't last well. The ones that are really in beautiful shape are Dennis Angels, because he hand painted every single one of them, and they're still in beautiful shape. Those would be beautiful. I would just throw this out that it just depends on what poles are there. If the poles can take the weight, if they can take the banners, then there's also the equipment for the poles to put the banners, and there's a cost there. But also, I'm just going to throw this out there that that's all part of the Maryland Parkway Connectors part of the Our Town grant that we're partnering with Park County and UNLV and RTC with. And part of that is, and all of it is really about connecting from the airport all the way down to Cashman, down that spine, through public art. So if there were a way to put something up now on a temporary basis, if we have the money to do it, and the polls would take it, we could look into that. I don't know what that would cost. But I would say we need to be flexible and not put something out there that would then, you have this project looking one way, and then you get there and you have these banners that you wouldn't be able to work
I
around.
think it would be a temporary thing. What's the timeline for the Our Town grant project?
Oh, I think it will get announced, I think it's in the fall, and it's just, the money is for a plan. It's not to do the work, it's just for the plan. So I think it will take about a year for the plan. I can give you specific dates, and you can go online and find it too. So it wouldn't be for a while. It wouldn't be for a while. So if you want us to just check with Public Works on the poles, if they would even take a banner, we're happy to do that. And we already know what the equipment cost, just depends on the poles.
Let's do a little more exploratory on what we can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And get back to you. And even get back to you before the next meeting, just get a response as much as possible.
And as far as the cost, can you let us know how many poles then would support and what the cost?
Yeah,
So we
we'd
can
have to,
also,
yeah, yeah.
No, because these are weathered and everything, and you said some are hand painted, would there be some that we want to either contribute or loan out and put inside a building as artwork versus?
We've done that for years. We've had them all over. We've had them
Okay.
on buildings, in buildings, everywhere. And we're going back quite a few years here. And when we first started here, we used to give the artists their banners back. That was what they got. They got a stipend, they got them up, and then they got them back at the end. So we don't have all of them. And some of them are in pretty bad shape because we did have them installed all over the DSC building, wherever we could put them up. Richard was like Johnny Appleseed with the banners. He was everywhere. So we just have to take stock and see what we have that's viable. I do know that Dennis's pieces, we were all amazed at what good shape they're in because he hand painted every one of them. And the others weren't done that way.
Let me ask the hard question is, are any of those banners you say not working would work under the accession policy? So we could get them back to the artist, or?
We'd have to look to see if banners are meant to be. We'll look at that. I'm not sure if we include
Might be a
banners
safe
in
thing
this.
to do, because we might be able to take the worst ones and either give them to the community. We may want a banner that's not great for some other purposes, but we have to do it to the accession policy. Might be a good example of trying it. See if the policy works. Okay, so the direction is to the staff to investigate.
Okay.
Okay. Any other points to this item came up? I'd like to move over on to number 15, and I will read this. Let us talk about discussion regarding for future agenda items by the Arts Commission. Comments made during this portion of the agenda by individual commissioners shall refer solely to proposals for future agenda items, and any discussion shall be limited to whether or not such proposed items are within the purview of the commission and/or whether such proposed items shall be placed on a future agenda. No discussion regarding the substance of any such proposed topic shall occur, and no action shall be taken regarding the proposal. Does any commissioner have items that they would like to bring up and to consider for a future meeting? We already are going to have input on commissioners who will serve on subcommittees, so that will be at the next meeting. We will also have subcommittee meetings. Hopefully, I would like to request a decision of the priority who wants a subcommittee meeting between now and the next commission meeting, because I think we only have relegated to 1 or 2 times. Two. So I think the subcommittee people need to talk about whether or not if they want a meeting and who would be happy to have one. So
I'd like
that's
to throw my hat in the ring for the education committee. I won't feel that one in several months.
Okay. So that's an agenda item. Any other events or anything that, again, we just had this, we'll probably bring back the aerial gallery, try and get that discussed on the next agenda also. Any other items that commissioners would like to bring up or consider? Keep that in mind as we go through the meetings for the coming years, as you work on your own projects or you see an ability for the commission to help in any way, that you try and work them into the agenda so we can deal with them or talk about them. So they're on it. We're very specific that we have to go through the right steps to talk about these things. So I appreciate it. You can talk to me or Diane about items you want on the
one
agenda.
item that we had last year about this time was a discussion of the public art murals that were going to be part of the Life is Beautiful Festival.
Okay.
And I think our next meeting will coincide right before the festival takes place, if I have my dates correct.
Okay.
So that might be worth.
No, that's very good. Very good. Do we want to also count that in terms of possible action in case we see something where we can participate in that?
I think we should invite them to
Give a presentation. Okay. What is it?
I'm confusing Scott Cohen with,
Yeah.
right, that's right.
We're more likely
But
to
if they
try.
would be received, that'd be good.
Let us do that where either Diane or Paco, if you want to do it, extend an invitation from the commission to the Life is Beautiful people to invite them to our next meeting
To discuss.
to discuss the murals and anything
Anything
else
else
that's on their have their own secret agenda. Okay, any other commissioners wish to opine or add to that? Okay.
Can I just
Yes,
ask a
please.
question? I'm sure it's totally out of sequence, forgive me because I'm new. But you mentioned subcommittees, and you would like the new people to join subcommittees.
Yes.
Is there a list of subcommittees?
There is a list, I believe, actually, in the portfolios here.
And they would have it in their packet.
And you can talk to Diane about what the subcommittees are about, who's on them, and what their projects are working on.
Thank you.
No, and that's an honest question you can ask. No problem. Okay, I'd like to move on to number 16. And this is now, we're opening it up to public, to citizen participation. I have to read this out loud, and then I'd like to make a comment on it. Citizen participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the commission. No subject may be acted upon by the commission unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, give your name for the record. The amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. I would like to now entertain anybody from the public who would like to speak. Again, can't take up anything or take any action on anything, but we are more than willing to listen to what you have to say. So, yes, ma'am.
Hi. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Patricia Martinelli Price. I'm a native Las Vegan. With my grandchildren, we're fifth generation Las Vegan. I've been working on a project called Spirit of the Nations for a couple of years. That project will happen in Clark County, but we are going to be looking for a lot of artists for this project. We have a symposium for March 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th, where major museums from throughout the United States and other parts of the world will be here speaking on, at a symposium. I have worked with R.C. Gorman, God rest his soul, he's passed away, and Armando Pena. I represented many artists. I do a lot of events here for the families, but I want to get the city involved with this. Because even though this building will be built in Clark County, we need to make sure that our artists from Las Vegas and from Nevada are first on board before we bring artists from other parts of America and the world. So my number is 702-365-5686. My email is holidayofnations@gmail.com. I see a couple of people that I know. In fact, my friend here, Mr. Alvarez, invited me because I was one of the ones that has been with the arts advocacy group for many years. We go to Carson City, pay for our own way to help advocate for more money for the arts in our state. And then, of course, I see my other friend there that has been helping us for many years with the programs that we do for the disadvantaged, homeless, our veterans, and our working poor families. My grandfather started 13 events 44 years ago. I see my friend here that we worked on the council for Parade of Nations for the 100 Years of Nevada, and Patty back there that we're involved, that she's very involved with the Metro. But we want to make sure that all the artists know this, because Paco wanted me to say just a couple of words. You'll be hearing a lot about it. We're very blessed. Sig Rogish is our PR firm, so we're going to get that out to the community. We always involved all the schools. And one of the things that I heard that you were doing your banners, maybe, because I'm very connected with the school district, because we do essays, poster, sculpture contests 3 times a year. And it goes into public, private, and also homeschool students. So I think to engage the kids, maybe to finish, to do those banners that he's talking about, because I remember growing up a lot of those banners and my kids for different events that the artists did, and I think that's a great idea what he's talking about. But again, my name is Patricia Martinelli Price. I'm with the Polydor Foundation. That's spelled P-U-L-I-D-O-R Foundation. Our next event coming up is the 25th of October. We do it in Ward 5 in the Natural History Museum, the Mormon Fort, and Heritage Park. And these events that we do are free, and we always have art components for the kids.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. If you have anything or any handout or information, get it to Diane, and she'll get it out to commission members.
Thank you.
Appreciate your input. Any other person? Yes.
Hi, my name is Joey. I have an announcement about First Friday. Largely due to the efforts of a lot of people in this room, we are celebrating 12 years in October, and we're very happy about that. The concept and theme around it is mythology, months, where the months come from, and numerology around 12. 12 is a powerful number with a lot of significance. So that's kind of the theme. We're coming out with 12 announcements that have started yesterday, so we'll have different announcements coming out over the next couple weeks. One of them that we're really excited about is Paco stepping in as the curator for the month. We've got Jacob Gallegos, who's going to be doing some sketches of different people that have participated over the years and really kind of helped to create this thing, and as well as some new faces. So that part's exciting. Would just really like to make, I know you can't really vote on anything, but I'd like to call one motion that everybody here show up. October 3rd. And go ahead, Marcus. Seems like he has a question here.
I was wondering if you're going to touch on Preview Thursday, because I want to praise you.
We are going to do Preview Thursday. Also, we'll be exhibiting these works from Jacob Gallegos at the Art Square outdoor area. Yeah, so that will be on the Preview Thursday the night before.
I'd like to say thank you for all you did, if I can, for Preview Thursday. I think what you're doing is amazing, and especially for First Friday, and so I'm going to make sure and send it out to everybody I possibly can to get that support and deserve, because you really deserve the acknowledgement for all you've done for that, so thank you so much.
No problem. And I forgot to mention that this guy standing right over here for the next event is going to build 12 large-scale these kind of art cages, and we'll have people out there live painting them, so we're securing artists for that right now also. And thank you, Mark.
Thank you, appreciate it.
That's what you did.
We aren't going to be burning any artwork, are we? Just
So I look like that?
Anybody else have a comment, please?
Yeah, my name is Rousseau, and fortunate enough to joint venture with Joey, and we're launching what's called Guerrilla Cages. And basically what we do is we support legal cannabis for guerrilla style art, and we're working in conjunction with the AT&B Council, and our long-term plan is to create canvas by local artists that don't get the opportunity to paint large scale in public, and then to take that artwork and turn it over to a conservation committee that will go ahead and set up something at the UNLV to take care of these things and use them as an asset for this community. I've been here 22 years. I love Vegas, but I love the people in Vegas more. And anyways, we do a lot of stuff. We run Clean Shirt on a hot day for the neighborhood down here, and we're also the first garden that you guys have down here that you don't know about yet. But we actually have a large community garden starting on 3rd and Charleston that we've been building for a while now. And I'm mostly connected to this man here, and he's my go-to guy. So I just wanted to come down here and show good for him.
Thanks for all you do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, appreciate that. Anybody who is speaking or otherwise has information they'd like to disseminate to the community, bring it to Diane's attention. We do have social media ability to get out some things as best as we can, and we'd like to hear from you, so we're aware of what's going on in the community too. Is anybody else in the public who would like to speak at this time? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Melissa Peterson. I'd actually like to address the Main Street Committee. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay for that meeting because of Audrey's funeral. It was at the same time. And I'm curious about how the benches were decided to help brand the street, and if you guys could kind of explain the idea behind using benches, because I personally find benches problematic in the downtown area, and they're not necessarily gathering places, and I'm not sure how you guys think they're going to help with economic development or stimulation on the street and beautification.
Sure, it's right in your lap.
Well, we talked about that as far as that they are going to be commissioned art pieces, so I don't think that, is there another way that we should go about them? Is that what you're suggesting?
I guess my question is actual benches, even if they're beautifully done,
if that's really how you guys came about that that's
I
the
think,
type
I
of art
think this
form
is,
that you
I
want
think
to
this
bring.
was one element of the entire art along the Main Street area. And the benches actually came out of Public Works saying this is what we'd like to do. They gave us several different diagrams of benches that were actually designed so they wouldn't be necessarily gathering points of people staying on the benches, but more or less conversational areas that they were still, you could use them, but they would be uncomfortable if one wanted to spread out with their sleeping bag.
Is there a requirement through Public Works that a certain number of benches must be included in the Main Street development?
No.
No, and we're looking for other forms of art other than benches.
Other than benches?
Yeah.
And I thought that was,
So we could actually look at maybe Albuquerque, New Mexico's street lamps that incorporated neon and metal banners that I think personally, just as an idea, would highlight neon, which is already kind of the biggest art form. So that type of conversation could take place as well as benches. There's not a requirement for benches.
I think the subcommittee is on the front end of the entire discussion of what is being looked at, so there's nothing that's set.
and I thought it was a conjunction thing too, where they had allocated funds
Right.
for
For
benches.
benches.
For
Yeah.
benches.
So
They-
that-
They're putting in benches, and
There's no discussion going back to
Right.
allocating funds
there
to
may,
something else.
there is a certain amount of money that's dedicated to benches, and that's when they wanted to partner with us to create artist-designed benches, so that they weren't just off-the-shelf purchase benches. But that doesn't mean that we can't have other art elements in addition to that.
So the funds were allocated for the benches, but the benches are not a requirement.
Benches aren't a requirement, Melissa. I don't believe that benches are a requirement on every public works project. Because for many years, they didn't put benches in because they were problematic. But I think the thinking now is, and I can't speak for public works, but from my meetings with them, is that Main Street's going to become a pedestrian, they hope it becomes pedestrian friendly. That people walk around, that there, maybe there are cafes, that there's a lot of stuff going on the street where a bench may be very useful in that type of situation. I would just say, and just kind of going back to what Diane says, even though I don't know that benches are a requirement on every public works project, I don't think they are, to change Porches midstream because of the time frame, that would be dicey. Certainly, the committee could decide to go back to public works and go, time out, we don't want to do benches, we want to do light posts or whatever you want. You could have that conversation, but they're marching down. You can see it down Main Street. They're putting in infrastructure now, and a lot of this requires infrastructure that has to go in. So when they first approached us with the money, we wouldn't have been able to do this project without their money. They said, but you have to move fast with us because we're on down the road with this project. We can't get a year or 6 month delay, or we can't partner with you. So I'm just throwing that out there.
And I have a follow-up question to that, because the first time I heard about the benches was in the committee meeting last month.
Yep.
So for the public to be knowledgeable and to be engaged, at what point should that have occurred, so we're not at a point where we're too far along?
Okay. That's the first time I heard about the benches.
Okay.
And that was, it was Public Works that had come up with the idea. They were going to put benches on Main Street no matter what, but they approached us to, work with artists to actually create the benches. So, we could either say, yay, let's work with an artist and let them design benches, or let them just get some off-the-shelf bench and, they become places to sleep. It's $100,000 that we didn't solicit.
No, they came to us.
They offered us $100,000, and we're like, okay, cool. I had no idea that they were going to do that. And then on top of that, another $100,000 for the sculpture.
And we actually didn't know it either, and some of these projects are fast. They get funding, they get federal funding, they get grants, and boom, they're on down the road really fast. There was a time when we never had a partnership, so we were a partnership. So, I really, when we meet with them, and usually it's staff, it's usually their director.
Well, I'm a director and it's their director, so it's director that we sit down and have these meetings, and it's like, we want this partnership, we have this money, wouldn't it be great to bring artists on? And I usually go, yeah, let's take it to the Arts Commission.
Or we could say no. We could just say no. And
But I think what we heard at the last meeting when the public works person did show up, is nothing was precluded. We were not going down one street, and Benches was the only street. We were open to other art sort of forms, and that's why we had this discussion and presentation by the subcommittee and looking at other places for art along Union Street. So that is open.
And that's what I was going to say too. Is
My
that
name's Danny, right? And as far as the benches that you don't want people to lay on, I would suggest that if in the building of them, to have them leveled, like some people are taller than other people, so have a set high, or lower, high, and maybe an S figure to it, or maybe a figure of a snake or a lizard for those who are design, they're artists, that they can't just, I'm going to lay down on the bench. Because if you make it different levels and people aren't going to want to lay there, and like you said, they want to save and trauma safe, then you can have the head of the snake part of the bench, and maybe a little bit lower for somebody's got that sits a little lower, but just different levels that they won't want to lay down. So,
No, I agree that's in the mind that we have it. In fact, we did see some photographs. We did see photographs of those sort of alternatives. Anybody else from the public? Anybody else would like to have a comment? Okay, I appreciate the public attending. We would like to say that we're active ever. Ma'am.
I'm sorry. My name is Roz Knight. I run City of the World and Arts to Go. And I was just curious, how do you choose the artist to design the fences? The benches. Almost sounds like a fence. Do we design the bench and then have another artist come and paint it? How are you going about that format? And is there a plan to do Casino Center and Commerce? Because the streets are changing. Is there a plan to build up that whole arts area?
Did you want me to just? Okay. Yeah, we follow the best practices as outlined by American City Arts when it comes to sending out a call to artists, and the art bench will be widely advertised for artists to submit their qualifications. We don't ask them to submit proposals because we don't want them, first of all, to spend the time right at the beginning designing something, because we want them to work with the community and to have something that's specific to that site. So there's a call to artists. It's broadcast. It's on our website, but it's sent out to a lot of different places. Americans for Arts has a public art network. Okay, so that's one of the places where we would advertise it. Then we have a selection panel, and on the panel there'll probably be a member of the Public Works Department because they're funding this. There'll be members of the community. There'll definitely be artists on the panel, and then usually probably either 3, 5, or 7 members of the panel. Then what happens is we take the qualifications that they send in, which is images of past work, their resumes, their backgrounds, the list that identifies their images, what was the project budget, what is the project location, and so forth. And let's say we get 15 artists who submit their qualifications. The panel goes through round 1 and then eliminates some of them in round 2, and then we come up with the first, second, and third place artist.
And is there any proposal to put more of an artsy area in Casino and Commerce?
I'd have to talk to Public Works about that. I don't know. It's a good
That
question.
was Main Street and Commerce, right?
It was,
That's our main goal, is Main Street corridor, if you will, from Stewart to Vegas Boulevard, then Commerce as it splits off, where the sculpture will be, I guess is the best way I can put it, and that'll be the one-way going south, northbound on Main Street. So those will be the 2 areas that we're targeting.
There'll be more information coming to the public's attention as the subcommittee develops their guidelines and what we decide to do from the subcommittee standpoint.
Thank you.
Sorry, I forgot. I got so excited. We are building Museum of Nations, and I forgot about that because I'm so excited about this symposium. But the project is Spirit of the Nations. The first thing to be built is a Museum of Nations, which is Native American, with a cultural center. And we are 100 acres next to the South Point and the M Resort. and we're working very closely with the northern tribes and the Paiute Nation also, but also we're working very close with the New Mexico 8 northern tribes. And we will have, one of our speakers is the president CFO of the Smithsonian Institute. That'll be here in March. So, but we have other people. But I was excited, I forgot about that. But that's what I'm here for, and I'm going to give her the information so she has it and simulates it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please keep us informed. Any other further public comments? Hearing none, I would accept the motion for adjournment. All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you for hanging in there, Glenn.
My pleasure, so I couldn't join you.
No problem. We have now adjourned. You can hang up.
Hang up.